It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Arakak Wadash. Double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well, and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. All right. Back at you with another spiritual notification that's going to be entitled, Don't Entertain the Workplace Demon. Don't entertain the workplace demon. Okay? Because brothers have different occupations, different jobs, all right? The main occupation being prophecy. But in order to get our daily bread, we go out and use our different talents, all right, to make money in the world, okay? And with that comes dealing with worldly spirits, all right, worldly principalities, all right, different worldly opinions that are vain, especially in the workplace, all right? Whether you work outside, whether you work inside, whether you work at a supermarket, warehouse, office, all right, chemical plant, wherever it may be, you will deal with the workplace demon. And with that being said, do not entertain that workplace demon. Move circumspectly, all right? Head on a swivel, always respond spiritually. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? So ultimately, when you wake up in the morning, you go to your job, or in the afternoon, or if you work overnight, before you enter into that workplace, you have to put on the whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Before you get into your car, you put on a whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Before you make a decision, before you respond, we put on the whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, meaning what? We apply this truth to our daily lives to receive spiritual outcomes, not worldly outcomes. And in the workplace specifically, you deal with different opinions. Someone will come up, all right? They'll be talking. They'll try to ask you certain questions. And then all of a sudden, the truth comes up in a certain roundabout way. It might not be a directly at you, but it might be a so-called religious question or a spiritual question or a biblical question gets thrown out there, and it draws your attention. That is the workplace demon, all right? Leave those things alone and don't entertain them. Move spiritually and move with a sound answer, and always apply the truth. Okay, so people get to talking about religious topics on the job, all right? You could either simply leave the area, okay, or just nod your head in silence, or even just make a swift comment to get yourself from out of the situation so that you don't have to talk anymore, right? But that comment does not draw them in to allude to the fact that, okay, well, call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, well, double honors to the apostles. You don't bring that onto the workplace, all right? That's just going to cause confusion and could potentially have you losing your job, all right? We always want to move circumspectly. So it says, put on the whole armor of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, because the devil has wiles. He has strategies. He has snares. He has traps that he uses, and one of them is the workplace demon, all right? You have people from all different walks of life, all right, are employed here in America. Scriptures tell you that Judah and Israel are pressed together. So here you have the northern and southern kingdom, all right, as well as a multitude of other nations, okay, here in America, all right, a melting pot. So ultimately, when you're on the workplace or when you're on the job, you're going to hear people say that they don't like this, that they like this, they're in favor of this. All right, they're not in favor of that, but ultimately you don't get into those conversations. All right, if you're asked, speak only when asked. Speak only when addressed. And if you address, make your words short and simple. All right, not drawing them in or drawing yourself into the conversation, because it can later lead to confusion, and like we said earlier, you even losing your job because they'll ban against you. All right, but ultimately those things coming out All right, those demons jumping on different co-workers to make them say certain things. All right, to try to get you off of your pivot and get you off your spiritual stance. That's a test from the Lord, seeing if you're going to give into those things, or seeing if you're going to spot the issue and say, okay, well, I'm going to react spiritually. So it says, verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. You see? Against the rulers of the darkness of this world. This world, man. This society. Because we know that America was rooted, it has a deep root in witchcraft, wizardry, sorcery, all right? It's slaughtered a lot of spiritual blood in this land, so it's a lot of spirits, a lot of foul spirits going out that jump on people, make them say certain things, make them do certain things, make them react a certain way. But it's all a test that the Lord is putting us through. So you have to always remain in a spiritual state of mind. So it says, against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Because those spirits jump on people to try to get you out of the truth, to try to get you to say something to go off, to try to get you to mess up in your speech, to try to get you you vexed in the mind, man. All right? So we always take the spiritual solution, right? And the scriptures tell us this. Get it real quick. Okay, it's adversary, I remember now. It's Matthew 5:25, Yahushua speaking. It says, agree with thine adversary quickly. Who's our adversaries? Ultimately, Esau, Edom, but he's been given the earth into his hand. So ultimately, these institutions, these workplaces, these colleges, all right, these government buildings, okay, these military outlets, they're being controlled by Esau, Edom. They're under the vibration, all right, of this society, which is what? Totally off, totally in confusion, all right? No knowledge. And that's what this society operates off of. So you're going to see that when you go on your job. They're only going to know specifically what their job entails, specifically what their position is. They don't know anything else outside of that. They don't know anything about spirit. They don't know anything spiritual. All right. They don't know anything about wisdom, knowledge, and how to apply it. They just simply know how to be a contractor. All right. How to be a landscaper. Okay. Or how to be a lawyer. How to be a doctor. Okay. But when it comes to actually applying wisdom and knowledge and understanding, they're not there, man. That's why the Lord brings us on these jobs to get our daily bread, but we're ultimately to remain in that man of the Lord state of mind. We're not to jump in the state of mind of these people, all right, and let them drag us down, all right? We have to keep our spiritual defense high. So it says, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. And that's not just speaking of when you're getting stopped by the police or the police are looking to detain you. That can be used and applied to the workplace demon, all right? You have adversaries in the workplace. They're trying to get you out of your element, trying to get you flustered, trying to make you sweat spiritually, all right? Trying to have you your mind on negative thoughts, man. So it says agree with them quickly, meaning what? Okay, well, yeah, customer service, the customers, like they say on the job, the customer's always right. Customer service, right? So when these people, they try to get you off of your spiritual pivot, agree with them. Say, okay, well, yeah, you got that. Because what are we even conversing about? Probably 9 times out of 10, all right, it's going to be something job related, something going to be workplace related. Okay, and if they bring something out of the workplace, outside of the workplace, and get to talking about religion, things like that, okay, then you still apply spiritual responses because you give them as much as you allow them to have, man. All right? You don't get deep off into these conversations. Now, you have very, very rare circumstances where, all right, somebody will be sincere on the job, you know what I mean? Or you'll find somebody on your job that might believe in the truth, but ultimately you apply wisdom to that as well, all right? You don't get into those type of conversations while you're on the job because 9 times out of 10 these jobs, they have different policies and things that they don't allow certain conversations and things like that within the workplace. So you follow those guidelines, all right, and you remain spiritual. Okay, knowing what to do and what not to do. So it says, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge. Right, and you could be delivered up to your supervisor, your highest subordinate. They could report you, say certain things. Oh, this person is discriminating. This person is saying this and that, and he doesn't believe this. He doesn't like this. And now the information you've given them, all right, which you thought could have been a conversation or just a little locker room talk, now they're using it against you to try to get you out of your position or try to put you in a snare, man, or in a trap. So the Lord wants us to be circumspect at all times. All right, it says, deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Right? And that could happen as well, man. We've seen things transpire to where on the job, all right, arrests have been made. All right, not speaking as far as men of the Lord, but speaking as far as the news, we see things all the time in the news. The arrest was made on the job. This scandal was uncovered. This person stole money. This person said this. Accusations about that. So you have to be, like the scriptures say, bring it out right. It's Matthew 10, Yahushua speaking again. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. See, we're the lost sheep of Israel, all right? In the midst of wolves, in the midst of a perverse nation, in the midst of a nation that already wants you to lose right out the gate. They want you to meet your demise at hello. Hello, fail. Now fail. That's what the society wants. So knowing that, we have to operate circumspectly. We have to choose our words carefully. All right, especially dealing on the job because you have a workplace demon. All right, brothers go into it all the time. You have spirits that are jumping your coworkers, jumping your so-called supervisor. All right, whatever it may be, even the customers, all right, to try to get you out of that spiritual mindset, to try to get you, all right, to manifest negative thoughts, man. But it says, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. See, because you're wise as serpent, meaning what? You're circumspect. You're seeing the things before they happen. You're using righteous craft, man. All right, you're being crafty for the good, man, for the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to come forth, man. All right, because the Lord wants you to issue spot things. The Lord will not do a lesson on that about spiritual issue spotting. All right, spiritual issue spotting means when you see certain things go on in the spirit, you have to react spiritually. You don't react off the flesh. You react according to the word, according to the truth. Right? So it says, and harmless as doves, because you take upon that approach of being harmless, man. All right? Being careful with your thoughts, careful with your words. Let me get it real quick. Proverbs 15:1, it says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. You see? And anger can be stirred up lots of times on the job, on the workplace. You have people with different opinions, people that are trying to make their ends meet, people that are struggling financially, living paycheck to paycheck, and they come to the job a lot of times stressed out, all right? With high thoughts, with their mind on the edge, and they're looking for certain words, they're looking for certain conversation to just stir that further so they can either get into a full-out blown argument with you, or they could try to vent to you and say, oh, I want to confide in you, but that confiding in you could turn into you ultimately being reported up by them, man. That same person that try to confide in you now, all right, you think that, okay, well, I'm going to just talk to this person, get this person a little advice or help. Now they're trying to deliver you up and say, okay, this person wronged me in some certain way. So you have to be spiritual in your answers, spiritual in your responses, and don't entertain a workplace demon. It says, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. You see, the tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, because we use knowledge for its best fitting use, for its righteousness. All right, we don't use knowledge for unjust gain or to defraud. We use it to ultimately save ourselves from the wiles of the devil, man. To put on that spiritual armor, all right? To be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, okay? To be, like it says, having that soft answer turned away wrath. Hey, how you doing? Well, you know what? I'm not particularly interested in those types of things, so I'd rather not speak on that. Well, you know what? Yeah, though, politics, I really don't like to get onto that on the job. I really don't like to get into religion on the job. That's just something I'm really not here for. I'm here to do my job, and they just have nothing but respect for that, man. All right, they will have no choice but to respect that. You take a stance and you hold that stance, and you set that out right when you're hired or however you are on the job. You make that known, man. You make that known within yourself, like, hey, this guy is here to do his work, to do his job assignment. Even though we're in the truth, we have an avenue and access to so much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, everlasting eternal knowledge, but they don't have to know that, all right? When you go to work, you do your job and set in your straight path or whatever tasks or assignments you have for that day, then you know your mind is going to be meditating on spiritual things anyway. So they don't have to know the things that you're thinking, that you're calling on the Lord in your head and you're thinking about certain video topics and whatever it may be, and you're planning things out, all right? They don't have to know those things. You keep it strictly, like they say in the workplace, professional with them, man. All right? Don't entertain the workplace demon. It says, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. You see, and there's a lot of fools that work these jobs. The Lord tells you that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. So a lot of these fools are on the job, man, just spewing out madness, saying stuff just because they have a position or just because they can, man. All right, they just say whatever, do whatever, bend the rules, whatever it may be. But you stick according to those rules of that job and stick according to the law and by the book, so-called, of that workplace or whatever, because most jobs have like bylaws and things like that incorporated into their policy. So you stick according to those rules, all right? And as long as it's not going off with the Lord, then you don't have to get into these different workplace discussions and worldly discussions that come up on a job, man. Don't entertain that workplace demon, all right? It says the eyes of the Lord are in every, Proverbs 15:3, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good, you see? So the Lord is ultimately seeing these things and saying, how is my son going to react in a certain situation? Is he going to be impulsive, or is he going to be patient and say, okay, well, I'm testing him, all right? That's how you grow in the spirit. It says, a wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit, you see? And you don't want to breach in the spirit, because if you have a breach in the spirit, then you become what? Partial, right? You become void of judgment, all right? Your reasoning becomes altered, right? Because you don't have that wholesome tongue, okay? You don't have that. Your speech is not aligned with the word. It's not aligned with the truth. It's worldly, all right? It has that worldly mixture in it, to where now you're speaking more into these worldly topics than you're getting into the topics of the Most High, man. Don't entertain the workplace demon, Akim. All right? Use the spirit, use the truth to guide your actions while you're on the job. Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Arakakwadash. Double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone, rule well and teach well, and a word there to double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Shalom.